Hold on tight, hip-hop fans, because what's about to unfold will shake the streets and leave the culture buzzing. After years of tension, rumors, and social media clashes, the unthinkable has happened. Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel, two of rap's most respected legends, have officially canceled their beef. But don't get too comfortable. This isn't just about shaking hands. This is about pride, legacy, and the raw emotions of two titans finally facing their past. And here's the kicker. An unexpected collaborative album is on the horizon, promising tracks that could rewrite hip-hop history. Imagine the scenes. From diss tracks that once echoed through clubs and streets, to late-night interviews filled with barbed words, to fans picking sides like a battlefield. Now, all that tension is colliding in a way nobody predicted. Who reached out first? What conversations were held behind closed doors? And most importantly, how will this collaboration redefine their legacies? This story isn't just music news, it's a dramatic saga of respect, rivalry, and redemption. The countdown begins as we break down every twist, every moment that led to this explosive reunion, and what it means for the hip-hop world. Get ready for insider reactions, street-level drama, and the ultimate showdown between past grudges and future hits. Stay tuned, because when legends collide, the result isn't just music. It's history in the making. The streets of New York never sleep, especially when it comes to hip-hop. For decades, Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel have carried the weight of East Coast rap on their shoulders, each with their own loyal fan base, each commanding respect in a world where every word, every bar, and every move is scrutinized. And yet for years, tension brewed beneath the surface. Social media posts were dissected like chess moves. Interviews contained subtle digs that only insiders could decode. And fans picked sides, some loyal to the gritty streets of Yonkers, others to the raw Philly energy of Sigel. But something shifted. Behind closed doors, the two legends started talking. Whispers from mutual friends hinted at late-night calls, private studio sessions, and conversations that didn't make headlines. This was no ordinary truce. This was a calculated reconciliation. A collision of two distinct forces in hip-hop. Ready to rewrite history, Beanie Sigel's fans had long wondered if peace would ever come. Jadakiss's audience had grown tired of the back and forth. The subtle subliminals in interviews, the tracks that hinted at beef but never resolved it. And now the anticipation was palpable. Not only was the beef officially canceled, but a collaborative album was rumored, the likes of which no one could predict. Inside the studio, tensions were palpable. Producers whispered about the charged energy in the room. Every beat, every hook, every verse had weight. Because this wasn't just music, it was reconciliation, legacy, and raw emotion being poured into every bar. Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel's chemistry was undeniable, their voices complementing each other while carrying the weight of years of rivalry. The streets wanted drama, and now they were about to get something bigger. History, meanwhile, on social media, fans exploded. Memes flooded timelines, predictions ran rampant, and forums lit up with heated debates. Would the album live up to the legends' reputations? Would this collab finally silence the rumors, or reignite the competitive fire that made them icons? Even the industry insiders were watching closely. Executives from top labels knew this wasn't just another album. This was a cultural event. Marketing teams strategized not just for sales, but for storytelling. Every press release, every teaser, and every snippet of a track would be analyzed by fans and media alike. The stakes were high, and the tension was electric. It wasn't all smooth sailing. Jadakiss, ever the perfectionist, wanted every detail just right. Beanie Sigel, with his raw street sensibility, demanded authenticity over polish. The clash of personalities could have reignited the old feud, but instead it fueled their creativity. Each argument over a verse, each debate over a hook, became a spark, igniting something even more powerful than rivalry. Respect. Rumors of their collaboration began to leak. A studio photo here, a cryptic tweet there, and suddenly the world was buzzing. Fans dissected every hint, speculated on the first single, and debated which style would dominate: Jadakiss's razor-sharp lyricism or Beanie Sigel's raw Philly grit. Every mention in the media became a viral moment. It was more than anticipation. It was a cultural phenomenon, and yet the weight of the past was never far behind. Both Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel carried scars from battles lost, friendships strained, and reputations tested. This project wasn't just about music, it was about redemption, legacy, and proving that the street's respect was still earned. Every track on the upcoming album promised to tell stories that had never been told, exposing vulnerabilities, triumphs, and moments of raw, unfiltered emotion. Producers and engineers marveled at the energy in the studio. "It's electric," one commented, "like the old days, but deeper. You can feel the history between them in every line." Every beat was a negotiation. Every verse a conversation, and every chorus a declaration. Hip-hop legends were making peace, but not at the expense of authenticity. As news of the album continued to circulate, the streets and social media became a living, breathing audience. Fans created countdowns, hashtags, and reaction videos. Hip-hop blogs dissected past beefs and predicted how the album would reshape relationships across the East Coast. The drama wasn't just in the studio, it was everywhere. From Brooklyn stoops to Philly block parties, from podcasts to radio shows. Everyone had an opinion, everyone had a stake. But at the heart of this story was respect. Two legends, who could have let pride and past grievances dictate their paths, chose a new direction. This wasn't surrender, it was strategy. A bold, calculated move to create something timeless. A statement that hip-hop isn't just about battles, but about legacy, innovation, and collaboration. As the first single leaked, the world got a taste of what was coming. Fans erupted. The chemistry was undeniable. The verses were sharp and the hooks unforgettable. Social media exploded with reactions, debates, and excitement. The streets were alive with discussion. Who had the better verse? Which style dominated? And most importantly, what did this mean for the future of East Coast hip-hop? One thing was clear. This was more than music. It was a story of reconciliation, legacy, and raw drama that spanned decades. The streets had witnessed tension, conflict, and rivalry. But now a new chapter was being written. A chapter that would define not only Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel, but the culture itself. The countdown to the full album had begun, and fans could barely contain themselves. This was the moment hip-hop history had been waiting for. Two legends, united by respect, driven by passion, and ready to make the streets listen like never before. The streets were buzzing louder than ever. Social media wasn't just sharing news, it was generating its own electric energy. A pulse that seemed to vibrate through Brooklyn and Philly alike. Every fan wanted a piece of this monumental moment. Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel weren't just dropping bars, they were dropping history. And with history comes tension, suspense, and a drama that could rival any blockbuster. Behind the studio doors, the atmosphere was thick with intensity. The two legends, who had once stood on opposite sides of a simmering feud, now found themselves in a delicate dance. Every beat played was a negotiation. Every rhyme spit a delicate balance between pride and collaboration. Jadakiss, sharp and meticulous, scrutinized every line for lyrical precision, while Beanie Sigel, raw and unfiltered, demanded that every word reflect the street's harsh truths. The friction wasn't destructive, it was fuel, and the energy was palpable. Rumors were flying. Whispers of a secret listening session leaked online, and fans speculated wildly. Could Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel really bury the hatchet after years of subtle jabs and competitive tension? What would this mean for East Coast hip-hop? Forums exploded with theories. Some predicted lyrical fireworks. Others anticipated a storytelling masterpiece that would finally bridge the Brooklyn-Philly divide. In the studio, cameras were banned, but word always finds its way out. Producers and engineers, careful not to reveal too much, couldn't help but share snippets of the raw sessions with trusted insiders. Every beat, every hook, every verse became a talking point. One producer described it as an electric collision like two storms merging, unpredictable and unstoppable. The music wasn't just tracks, it was a narrative telling stories of street life, struggle, survival, and redemption. Meanwhile, outside the studio, the internet went wild over cryptic teasers. Jadakiss posted a short video of himself nodding to a beat while Beanie Sigel dropped a line from an unreleased verse. Fans dissected every frame, every word, and even the background sounds for hidden clues. Conspiracy theories mixed with excitement. Some swore they could hear the hook of the first single. Others argued over which verse would hit hardest. The drama wasn't just in the music hit, was in the anticipation itself. This collaboration was about more than just reconciliation. It was a cultural statement, a bridge between generations of hip-hop royalty. Jadakiss represented sharp lyricism, precision, and classic New York grit. Beanie Sigel carried the raw authenticity and streetwise storytelling of Philly. Together, they were more than the sum of their parts, they were a phenomenon. But drama, as it always does, crept in. The old whispers of beef weren't completely gone. Some industry insiders questioned whether true collaboration could exist after years of competitive tension. Could two strong personalities share the spotlight without conflict? Would pride get in the way of perfection? These questions hung in the air unanswered, creating suspense that fans could feel in every comment, every post. And every reaction video. The streets themselves weighed in. On stoops, in barbershops, and in radio call-in shows, discussions raged. Will Jadakiss overshadow Beanie? Asked one Brooklyn fan. Nah, Beanie's verse is gonna hit harder, a Philly listener countered. The debate wasn't just about talent, it was about legacy, respect. And who would dominate the first wave of this historic collaboration as production continued? The artists faced moments of tension that could have sparked conflict. A disagreement over a hook nearly reignited old rivalries, but instead it sparked creativity. Jadakiss pushed for lyrical complexity, while Beanie Sigel insisted on raw storytelling. The compromise wasn't easy, every line was debated, every word measured, but the result was magic. Each argument fueled innovation, producing verses that were sharper, deeper, and more intense than either could have achieved alone. Meanwhile, in the wider hip-hop community, reactions were electrifying. Podcasts dissected leaked lines, radio DJs speculated on the track list, and veteran artists weighed in with comments that sent shockwaves through social media. The story was no longer about a single album, it was about two legends proving that respect, and collaboration could overcome years of tension. Every reaction was amplified by the dramatic narrative. Two kings of East Coast rap, once at odds, now united in the studio. Crafting an album that promised to shake the streets to their foundations, the first listening session to a select group of insiders revealed the depth of the collaboration. Fans who had early access described it as a masterclass in storytelling, lyricism, and energy. One verse from Beanie Sigel hit with such raw intensity that listeners said it brought them to tears. Jadakiss's signature wordplay and metaphors reminded the streets why he had been revered for decades. The chemistry between them was undeniable, blending years of experience, rivalry, and respect into a powerful musical narrative. As the news spread, social media engagement skyrocketed. Memes, reaction videos, and speculation threads flooded every platform. Every teaser, every snippet of audio, and every statement by the artists was scrutinized and celebrated. The drama wasn't just a backdrop, it was the engine driving the cultural conversation. Fans were invested, emotionally charged, and eagerly awaiting the next move. Industry veterans noted that this collaboration could change the game. Albums in hip-hop had come and gone, but few had carried this level of historical weight. Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel weren't just making music, they were making a statement about the power of reconciliation, the importance of legacy, and the art of storytelling. It was a lesson in drama, tension, and resolution all rolled into one musical project. And yet, amid all the hype, the artists remained focused. The studio became a crucible of creativity, where every beat, verse, and chorus was polished to perfection. Arguments were resolved not with ego, but with respect. Old wounds were acknowledged, not ignored. The collaboration became more than just music hit, became a metaphor for the power of hip-hop to unite, heal, and inspire. The streets, fans, and industry insiders all knew one thing. This wasn't just an album. It was a saga, a high-stakes drama, and a cultural milestone. The anticipation for the official release had reached fever pitch. And the story of Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel's collaboration was now part of hip-hop legend. The drama was far from over. With tensions managed, the tracks perfected, and the streets watching. The next chapter promised even bigger revelations, deeper storytelling, and moments that could define the careers of both artists forever. Fans were left on the edge of their seats, eagerly waiting for the album to drop and for the streets to witness history in motion. The day had finally arrived. The streets, the fans, the podcasts, and every corner of social media were buzzing with anticipation. Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel's collaborative album wasn't just about music hit, had become a cultural event. From Brooklyn stoops to Philly corners, people were counting down the hours. The tension that had been simmering for years now reached a boiling point, ready to explode across headphones, speakers, and streaming platforms. In the studio, the atmosphere was electric. Producers put final touches on the mix, checking levels and ensuring that every verse, every punchline, and every beat hit just right. Jadakiss, ever the perfectionist, paced the room, nodding at the final hooks, while Beanie Sigel, fierce and unfiltered, ran through his verses one last time. There was no room for mistakes. This album was more than music, it was legacy. Every lyric told a story of survival, loyalty, rivalry, and triumph. Outside the studio, the digital streets erupted. Fans flooded social media with speculation, reaction videos, and memes. Clips of Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel teasing lines from the album had already gone viral. The hashtags #KissTheMac, #JADAKISS, XBEANIE, and #East Coast Legends were trending worldwide. Forums debated every beat, analyzed every verse, and argued passionately over which artist delivered the hardest bars. The anticipation wasn't just hype, it was a cultural phenomenon. Then the first single dropped. Within minutes, the internet exploded. Fans shared their reactions in real time. The lyricism, the chemistry, and the raw energy hit harder than anyone could have imagined. Beanie Sigel's verses told stories of the streets with brutal honesty, while Jadakiss's metaphors and wordplay reminded listeners why he had been revered for decades. Together, their voices intertwined like a perfect storm, each complementing the other in a dance of rhythm, tension, and history. Podcasts and radio shows quickly picked up the story. Analysts dissected each verse, each reference, and each subliminal jab. Listeners debated which bars would become classics, which hooks would dominate the clubs, and which verses would spark new street conversations. The drama wasn't just in the past. It was alive in the reactions, the debates, and the real-time fan engagement. But no epic story is without conflict. Despite the collaboration's success, whispers of tension leaked. Some insiders suggested that creative disagreements nearly derailed certain tracks. Jadakiss wanted precision. Beanie Sigel demanded authenticity. Arguments flared over hooks, tempos, and lyric placement. But instead of letting ego take over, the disagreements fueled innovation. Each dispute became a chance to push boundaries, resulting in tracks that were sharper, bolder, and more emotionally resonant than either could have produced alone. The fans felt the stakes. Comments on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok were filled with excitement, speculation, and passion. This is bigger than anything East Coast has seen in years. One user wrote. Another added, Beanie and Kiss just reminded us why we fell in love with hip-hop in the first place. Attention, drama, and resolution all combined to create a narrative that extended far beyond the music itself, was history in the making. Critics weighed in. Early reviews praised the album's storytelling. The chemistry between Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel, and the raw energy that emanated from every track. Some called it a masterclass in lyrical warfare and reconciliation, while others described it as a bridge between generations of hip-hop royalty. Every critique, whether glowing or skeptical, added to the album's mythos. The drama that had built over years, now reaching its climax, made this more than just an album. It became a cultural touchstone. Meanwhile, reactions in the streets mirrored the online frenzy. In Brooklyn and Philly, fans lined up outside record stores, debating which track would hit hardest and which verse would become iconic. DJs played snippets on local radio, driving excitement higher. Conversations about the album weren't just entertainment, they were debates about legacy, influence, and hip-hop history. The release party brought all of this drama full circle. Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel appeared together for the first time publicly since rumors of their collaboration had spread. The crowd erupted, a mix of anticipation, admiration, and disbelief. Every verse performed live felt charged with the history of the feud, the tension of reconciliation, and the weight of East Coast hip-hop legacy. Cameras flashed, fans shouted lyrics, and the energy was electric, almost cinematic in its intensity. Even within the album's tracks, the drama continued. Hidden references, subtle nods, and lyrical shots kept listeners on edge. Fans dissected lines for meaning, searching for clues about past feuds, personal stories, and street wisdom. Each verse wasn't just music, it was a puzzle, a story, and a reflection of years of rivalry and respect. The narrative extended beyond the artists themselves, drawing the audience into a web of emotion, history, and anticipation. It was clear, this album wasn't just a musical achievement. It was a cultural event. Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel had turned tension into art, conflict into creativity, and history into a living, breathing narrative. Fans, critics, and the streets all acknowledged the significance. The drama, the suspense, and the collaboration had culminated in a moment that would be remembered for years to come. The story didn't end. With the release, only evolved. Social media continued to buzz. New analyses and reaction videos flooded platforms, and fans replayed tracks to catch every nuance. The legend of Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel's collaboration became bigger than the album itself. It was about the power of hip-hop to transform conflict into unity, history into narrative, and rivalry into respect. And so, the saga concluded for now. The streets, the fans, and the hip-hop community at large had witnessed history. The drama that started as tension, rivalry, and speculation had been transformed into a legendary collaboration. And while new stories, beefs, and collaborations would always arise, this moment remained a pinnacle testament to the enduring power of hip-hop legends working together, pushing boundaries, and leaving an indelible mark on the culture. Yo, hip-hop fam! If you thought this saga of Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel dropping Kiss the Mac was intense, trust me, you haven't seen the half of it. The drama, the streets, the hidden bars, and the legendary collab. It's history being made live, and we just took you through every twist, turn, and punchline in this epic 3-part breakdown. Now it's time for you to get involved. Hit that like button if you've felt the energy, the tension, and the genius of these East Coast legends. Drop your comments below. Which verse hit the hardest? Who had the best bars? Are Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel officially the duo to end all hip-hop feuds? Your take matters, and we want to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell, so you never miss a beat from the streets, studios, or exclusive insider drama. From secret album leaks to behind-the-scenes studio battles, we're bringing you the stories that mainstream media won't touch. Be part of the conversation, react in real time, and join a community that lives and breathes hip-hop culture. And hey, share this series with your crew, whether you're in Brooklyn, Philly, or halfway across the globe. The energy of Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel's story is universal. Let's see how far the streets can take it, from streams to memes, podcasts to live debates. This isn't just a video, it's history, culture, and pure hip-hop drama. Stay locked in, stay loud, and remember, the music never stops and neither does the story. Hit like, comment, subscribe, and keep the legacy alive. The next chapter? You won't want to miss it.